Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina,
And I'm Kevin. And
and we are back. We had a week off, unexpected week off,
happens.
unforeseen
It's all right.
circumstances. Life happens, but we're back, and we're back right into the Chinese Grand Prix.
Yeah, Chinese Gran Prix. A very early weekend, all weekend. The only things that
Very
were
early.
at a reasonable time for us were the whatever the first event of the day would be. So it would have been FP1 and the sprint race was actually like it was like 11 o'clock, I believe it was.
11 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, 11 p.m. Yeah. So I mean, we got to see that. Well, we got to see it all. We just really tired today. That sucks. I was struggling yesterday, so
I'm struggling
yeah.
yesterday,
Yeah.
struggling today. Yeah, so we were up at 3 a.m. watching, and we'll see how this this
We'll see how it
episode
goes.
goes.
Yeah. I mean, you got up at 3 a.m. I didn't go to sleep. I was straight through because I'm an idiot, um, and tried to get a few hours
Yeah.
sleep this morning. So yeah, so we'll see. Let's see how much I stumble over my words here. It's going to be a lot. Just spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, we're very tired,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. But I mean, I guess we can jump right in. This was our first sprint of 2024
Yep.
as well. So just as a reminder, sprints are a shorter, condensed race. It's quick. This one was 19 laps, and we know who won.
Yeah. I mean, the only surprising thing about it was that he didn't take pole. Max didn't take pole.
Didn't
He
take
did.
pole.
He did win. He did win by some margin, right? I mean, if I pull it up
Eight
here,
eight
13
seconds.
seconds.
Oh,
No,
okay.
13. Yeah, no, 13. And he only took the lead at around lap 10 or 9 or so. He only got
Only.
past Lewis around lap 9. So in 10 laps, he was 1 point something seconds ahead
Yeah.
of Lewis. I mean, that's
There's
ridiculous.
there's just something in that car.
Yeah.
We do need to talk about Lando. So this seemed like it could have been Lando's
Oh, I was
first
hoping.
win. He doesn't have a first place podium. He
Yeah.
has now he's got 15 podiums, and he's now broken a record of the most podiums without a win, or he's tied with somebody else.
Yeah.
But so he got pole for the sprint. Even though it was a sprint, I'm sure he would have been happy with the win.
And it was his
Just
best
had it
chance. I mean, he had Max was qualified in fourth.
in fourth.
I'm
So he had
I
a
mean,
bunch of people.
he only had I mean, and I don't want to say only, it's two world champions ahead of him, Alonso and Hamilton, but in cars that are nowhere, like it wasn't a Ferrari in front of him or
No,
Perez or somebody else. Somebody was going to give him a little bit more of a fight, maybe, so Lando could try and
no.
stay ahead. It was only a matter of time before he caught him. And
Yeah.
apparently it was only in the first turn. Uh,
Everybody caught him in
yeah.
the first turn. So
Yeah, if you didn't see it, Lando had probably one of the worst starts you're going to see in an F1 season in any race. He went from pole to sixth uh, by the first turn. He
yeah.
lost it completely. It was horrible. I don't know. It literally looks like somebody threw a wrench into his engine, just like an old cartoon or something.
Yeah, like it
Yeah,
just didn't start. I mean, you could see it on the formation lap when all the lights go on and they go out for them to start the formation lap. Lewis actually took off ahead of him
yeah.
because Lando wasn't moving. So
Who
it
knows?
just wasn't his day. It's coming. It's definitely coming. You can feel it.
It just hurts when you feel like this is probably his best chance,
Yeah.
especially in a year like this. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see when it's going to happen.
We'll see. I mean, other than that, kind of an uneventful sprint. They're so
No, it
fast,
wasn't.
right?
No, the sprint wasn't.
Well,
The sprint we had quite a bit. Because
oh,
that
right,
was
right.
the sprint we did have
Yes.
quite a bit. First of all, we had the what I mentioned to you just before we got on here, the fire on the grass, in FP1 and the sprint qualifying, which brought out two red flags for the sessions. They were restarted shortly after, but they were in turn 7 and turn 5. There were no sparks. It was in areas that the car weren't driving on them. There was no excessive heat going over them at certain points. It just spontaneously combusted. What the hell are they spraying on this grass in China?
I I don't know. I don't want
Because
to assume.
they
Harry,
weren't small fires. They were like, it wasn't like a little, like a little 1 foot patch of grass. It was they're a decent size.
I mean, that's kind of scary, right? Because
Yeah,
then once you add the heat and like the sparks from the car,
yeah, yeah,
possibly the flames from a car, like, and the whole grass is just on fire. I
yeah.
mean, we should look into that,
Yeah,
China, for
it
next year.
it was odd. Yeah, I'm sure there's just gonna be no grass there next year, on throughout the whole track. But yeah, we did have quite a battle between several players in that drivers, whatever.
Players.
I say players as in like significant
Yeah.
cars on the grid. We
So it was
had
four. We
Alonso.
had four.
Yes, we had
Four
four.
of
We
them.
had Alonso backing up Ferrari of Leclerc, then Perez and Sainz behind him, right? Or was it
Something like that.
Perez,
I think
Leclerc?
Signs. Yeah.
Was it Sainz ahead? Okay,
I
yeah,
think
yes, it
Signs
was
ahead.
Sainz. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just making everybody hate their lives. Like they couldn't get past them. I don't know why they couldn't get past them. It was really odd to me because there were opportunities, but it didn't seem like anybody had any power to get past. Nobody was
I
really making
think
any lunges.
I think if you the corners are so slow. I mean, I know the F1 cars pick up really fast. They're faster than any car that we're driving. But when you watch them go into some of those slow speed corners, and slow speed being, you know, 80
Yeah,
miles an
yeah,
hour,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's still fast, but like these are slow speed corners. I like that's the only thing that I'm thinking is that because they have to slow down so much and then the next person is able to get a little bit of leeway. I don't know, but they really struggled to
Yeah,
get
maybe,
by.
but for it to be like it was several laps. It was probably like
Yeah,
six laps before there was a mistake that allowed them to get through, right?
truly.
When
Yeah.
Sainz tried to get past Alonso. So yeah, a lot of Sainz tries to get past Alonso. There is some contact there, which gives Alonso a puncture,
Yes.
and then he's out of the sprint race, which actually allows
Perez.
Perez to get by the both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a bit of a through goes Hamilton moment, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but not. Um yeah, and then we see, unfortunately, we see the Ferraris fighting.
Yeah, not much longer
G-
later. Yeah.
great racing. Not great for the team.
Not really. I mean, great racing was the rate. What race was it? Was it Monza last year? Or which was the one or was Australia last year? Sorry, it was
When
Australia last year.
Charles locked
It
up.
was but they were fighting. They were going for it for several
Yeah.
corners where before they had to have a talk
Yeah.
and figure it out. But this was pretty similar. It was late in the race. It was probably lap
It was like
17,
16,
16, something like that.
17.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they do touch. It was like probably another inch or somebody not giving up a little bit more, and they're both out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so we saw Charles was not too happy about that one.
Charles' his radio was kind of funny. He's like, he's fighting me more than he's fighting everybody else, which is kind
He's
of
not
true.
wrong. No, it was very true. It was
Kind of
100% true.
true.
Um,
But it provided great entertainment for the rest of us.
I wonder if it kind of was some frustration from Science because up until that point, like from the qualifying and then the practice, he didn't seem overly enthused about anything he was doing this weekend.
No, no.
Um, and so maybe it was more of a still thinking he's the number one driver and he's still
Yeah,
fighting for his spot, which I'm
yeah.
sure he's not necessarily fighting for a spot right now.
No,
Uh,
he's got
but
the pick.
yeah, yeah. So
No, I agree.
he wasn't driving like himself this week, which was strange to see.
No, he was. It was very interesting to watch his interview after as well. He kind of had like a I don't give a shit attitude. Even
Yeah.
like with Charles, they were asking him like, "How did you did you think Carlos stepped over the line?" He said yes. But we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Is that Bianca?
Yeah, it's
I
Bianca.
I just
She unplugged
totally.
the thing. All here is doom doodaloo.
Oh, sorry.
It's
My
all right.
bad. I was like, I just had to. So so then you clip over to Carlos and they're asking him like, "Do you think you overstepped?" And he's like, "Yeah, like maybe, but
What
it's
are they gonna do? Fire me?
yeah." He's like, "If I did, sorry, whatever." Like,
Yeah,
I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do. Like, I think
yeah,
you've said it numerous times. The drivers have said it. As much as it's a team sport, it's very much a solo sport, and he needs a seat. And so he's
yeah,
gonna do and show everybody and everyone what he needs to do. And that's what he was doing, showing he
yeah.
knows how to get through the crowd.
And let's be honest, he probably got a little bit lucky. If there was more damage, or if he had ruined both the races, he might have been saying something different.
Yeah.
Easy to put your hands and be like, sorry when nothing happens, right? Like, it's
Yeah.
bad judgment call, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was worse, I think he'd be singing a different tune, really.
Yeah. But I mean, they both seem to be over it pretty quickly as well.
Yeah,
And
well, that's from what they're letting us see.
well, true.
Yeah,
They were chatting up at the driver parade and all that, so I'm sure they're fine.
yeah,
But yeah, so
and that was
then
sprint. Yeah,
that was
pretty
sprint.
much. Yeah, a couple of late
I think so.
dramatics, but otherwise pretty
Yeah.
straightforward. I mean, they're quick. They're like you said, they're
Overall.
quick races. So yeah.
Overall max
Um,
one.
yeah, and then right after that, they've got 3 hours to change the car, and they went right into qualify. It was nuts. It's a completely different setup. You have the mechanics going crazy for 3 hours trying to get your car out.
Yeah.
You know, uh, you're taking fuel out of the car because you don't need that much fuel anymore. Um, it,
No wonder the grass
it's
is on fire.
yeah, it was not really a great setup for the weekend, especially on a street track, which nobody liked because this track was not ready for them.
No.
It was not ready for them at all. They didn't repave the tarmac. All they did was paint it. So and actually, who was it? It was Lando that was talking about it. Um, that there was no other because there was no other event that week. There was no, or was it? Maybe it was George, because there was no other F2 or F3 or F1 Academy. The tarmac was bare. There was no other rubber that was put down. It was
No.
slippery. When you had even just through the practice, everybody was losing corners. So I'm surprised there weren't more incidents in the sprint, which could have ruined somebody's qualifying. It was just a terrible setup. Luckily, nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing of
We'll
consequence.
we'll see what happens. I mean, we've got Miami next week, which is another sprint.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of see what happens at I don't there's no F
At least it's a dedicated track. Wait, yeah, it's
yeah.
a
Well
dedicated track.
it's
Yes,
yeah. But
it
there's
is.
no F2 or anything from Miami, I don't think.
I don't remember. I think there might be an F2, but I could be wrong.
Maybe. But we'll see what happens again. Like we'll see if this new format for the sprints and qualifying how it really messes with the teams. This time didn't look so bad,
Yeah.
but again,
Well, yeah. Once
we'll
we've
see.
got 5 more.
Mhm.
So once it ruins somebody's qualifying for a race, I think Yeah,
The
there's a team. The
complaining.
teams won't stand for it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what'll happen from like a Mercedes, and Toto is just gonna go nuts. He's
Yeah.
gonna go nuts.
It's going
Yeah,
to be, or it's either going to be Toto. I mean, there's only a few. It's either Toto,
yeah,
Zach,
yeah.
McLaren, or Lawrence Stroll is going to lose his mind.
I could see Bruno doing it too, but I mean,
Yeah.
he's got to do something. He can't. That's the only thing
He's
he can
got to
complain
do
about. That it's
something.
not his own fault. So,
Yeah. He's got to do something. But, all right. So then qualifying.
yep,
We
yep,
have normal process of qualifying, and we have a big shock of Lewis Hamilton not making it out of Q1.
yeah. Not making it. Like, didn't look good at all, and he had no idea. Which we talked about it last time, where they kind of not understand their timings or whatever. So it wasn't really that close for him to be out. He was out by. I mean, he was out. If I'm actually looking at it here, by about a hundredth of a second. So it wasn't that much. But when you're going slow, you know you're going slow. And when you're going slow enough to go 18th, you know you're going
Yeah.
slow. You know? Like, it's not like he got kicked out at 16. Somebody
No,
knocked him out of that 15th position. He was
no,
in 18. There was a Haas
no.
that went faster than him. Zhao went faster than him. Both Alpines went faster than him. Alpines, who have been a tractor meme all year, went faster. you
Yeah.
know, uh,
And then his interview, he's kind of like laughing about it. I was playing around with, and it's like,
well, actually,
buddy.
his interview was if I'll have it here. He said, 18's pretty bad. When I was making the setup changes, I guess because what he wants, uh, I was like, I can't get any worse, and it did.
And it did.
And then he says, "Shit happens. Shit happens."
This
No,
shit
not shit
happening.
happens. You win. You had a great sprint. That was actually one thing when you talk about the sprint. He had a great sprint. He qualified really well. He qualified in second and finished in second. He qualified in
And
third.
finished in,
Sorry.
and
No, he
finished in
finished in,
second.
what is it? Yeah, he qualified second and finished in second. Correct.
I think so.
Anyways, either way, he finished
He
in second.
finished.
He got a
He
podium.
got a
His first
podium.
podium in a not an existent race for the first time in a long, long time.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, finished start second, finish second. That's right. Um, but yeah, he had a great sprint. He had a great first couple sessions, and then just completely shit the bed in qualifying.
Like, what did you do to the car in 3 hours that put you from second to 18th?
I don't. Did he have a
Like,
burrito before? And he's just like, you know what? I got to take a shit, so I'm just gonna blow this so I can get to the
what?
bathroom. like,
Honestly, like, complete mess.
yeah.
Then we
Um,
had in Q2, Carlos Sainz spun. What did he hit the gravel a little bit with his tire? Is that what he did?
yes.
Or he caught
Yeah.
something and then he spun out completely and
Yeah.
hit the barriers.
Yeah. That's what I think. I actually think he caught some wind coming out of that back of the corner, and he lost the
Right.
back end. Took him into the corner. Yeah. And he lost his front wing. He was able to drive it out still,
Yeah.
and get it changed. So there was that drama though, where Aston Martin appealed the decision to
Yeah.
apparently if your car is stopped on track, you're not allowed to continue the session. But he did. He was able to come out. I mean, nothing came of it.
They just said
So
no.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like, Lawrence, no thank you.
yeah.
So, and
Zhao
he ended up,
missed. Oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna
Is
say
it,
Zhao missing out on Q2. Yes, Q2. I was confused the order. Q2 by four one hundredths of a second. I was in his home race. It was so close.
home race?
Yeah, and an Alpine had to kick him out. These friggin' Alpines.
These
Um,
Alpines.
why are they even in Q2? Um,
Because
uh,
Lewis is out in
yeah,
Q1.
that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. One of them would have
That's
been out
why.
if Lewis was actually doing what he
Yeah.
was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
It,
Otherwise, sorry, go.
no, I was going to say, and then we had kind of, the normal Q1 or
Well, we also had Yuki out in Q3 or Q1 as well, which is the
to go
first
backwards.
year. Yeah, to go backwards because he didn't make Q2. Um, Being beaten out by his teammate for the first time in probably like a year.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was really shocking to see. He wasn't on his game either this weekend,
No.
and you
And
could see the
he's
frustrations getting to him. He was,
oh,
yeah,
he's it was getting to him. I think it was getting to a lot of the drivers. I don't know if maybe they're not liking this new sprint format because
yeah,
everybody seemed a little bit on edge. Everybody seemed a little frustrated this weekend, even when they're doing well. And they just all seemed a little funny this weekend.
yeah. I think it had to do with, like you said, like the format of the weekend and the conditions of the track, especially being the
Yeah.
first year back in China in 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah. So,
And it was raining on Q
no, sprint
qualifying?
qualifying.
Sprint
Sprint.
qualifying,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think they were just emotions were very high, everybody was just all over the place this weekend.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Miami will make them feel a little bit better, you know? Well, that could rain too, but,
Yeah.
they do have a little bit of a
Knowing
break,
this year. Yeah.
but again, they're right back into another same kind of format, so we'll see how everybody's pissed off next week or in 2 weeks.
Maybe there'll be a little bit
But
less stress because they're in Miami.
yeah, I'd be a little bit less stressed too.
But we have Q 3 again. Um, we actually have a Haas and a Sauber that make it into Q3. Somehow they made
Awesome.
it into Q3. Well, I mean, I'm not so much surprised by Nico. I mean, we've seen him do it.
No,
We saw him do it what,
he's
6 times last year.
yeah,
And by all accounts, this car is a little bit better than last year. Um, but I'm very surprised that we had a Sauber, Kick Sauber, make it
yeah.
into Q3 again,
Uh,
where Lewis Maeve should have been.
I was shocked when I was looking at it. I was like, that doesn't look. That's
Yeah,
green. Why is that there?
yeah,
But it it didn't transfer to the race very well. I mean, but
no. Well, I didn't think it was going to, but
yeah,
it was just, yeah, no, it was good on them to actually get in there. The
yeah,
surprising part though was Ferrari's just looking really slow,
very slow.
very slow. Both McLarens beat them in qualifying to take fifth, fourth, and fifth, and then they were right behind them in fifth, sixth, and seventh.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the low speed cornering that's affecting them, but they were not good, and they weren't even far off. They didn't make it past Russell by much,
No.
couple 100 tenths of a second, but
Yeah.
um, it was odd. It was very very odd.
I feel like Russell is his own silo of a person this season.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
he's just getting lost everywhere. Like everything's
he's
about
just doing
Lewis.
his own
Yeah,
thing,
he's gonna take a few
and
points here and there, and then
like, occasionally but he's actually doing, like I don't wanna say he's doing well, but, like, he's
decent.
sitting up there, and a lot of times he's higher than Lewis, but, like,
He's
everything is
also not
focused
complaining
on
about the
Lewis.
car. He's just
No,
driving. So
he's just driving other
yeah,
than
yeah.
his crash in Australia, I guess that was, but, uh, so
I
then
think
we
he's
go
just
into the race.
yeah, yeah. And with the race actually, so they had the one thing we didn't mention is like Alonso qualified third, but because of the incident with um signs in sprint, he actually had a three place grid penalty um for the race. So that would have put him.
Right.
Yeah, he did. He had a three place, I think it was. Oh
Yeah.
no, it still has him here in third in the starting grid. That's strange. Because
Maybe
I
for the
did see.
next sprint?
Oh, maybe. Is that how it works?
I don't know.
I saw the reports that he was getting
A grid
grid place
place
penalty.
penalty.
Hmm.
Interesting.
We'll find out next week
Yeah,
or
because
2 weeks.
it wasn't because he did start third.
Yeah, he did. I'm just looking at it right now. It's actually the starting grid, and he's in third. I thought I missed it, being it was 3 o'clock in the morning, but no. Okay,
Well,
I guess I'm stupid.
there we
Just
well, there we go. Bear with us, everybody.
yeah, please.
We did watch the race. We swear we
Yeah,
watched it.
and I did see somewhere that he was getting a grid
Yeah,
plates penalty.
I did too.
Um, okay, thank you. Thank you for that validation. Um, but yeah, we go into a race that really uh fairly uneventful. A couple of interesting moments, but nothing to write home about. It was a pretty straightforward race.
Yeah, I mean, Max took off like Max does.
Yeah, yeah,
We had from there. It was kind of the initial start was normal start,
yeah,
no real incidences. We going a couple of laps, and then we see Valtteri Bottas. You know, he kind of pulls off
yeah.
engine failure, which where he pulled off, we thought it was going to be an easy like go in
They
there,
should
get
have
the
just pulled
car,
it
and
out.
get out
Yeah,
of there.
yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
it
stuck
turned
in gear.
into
They can't
stuck
move that
in
car. Yeah,
gear. It was disaster. So it went from just the yellow flags, everybody still slowing down. Then we have the virtual safety car still struggling.
yeah,
And then, we get the full safety car. So
yeah. It was a safety car
unfortunate for him.
for 6 laps,
It was
something like
quite a
that. It was
few
quite. Yeah,
laps
yeah, yeah.
for no damage.
No,
For no damage on the
no. They
track.
didn't have to clean it up. They didn't have to fix barriers or anything.
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Not.
they backed up the pack quite a bit.
Yes.
Which gave us our next big incident, which was the other big, um, I guess, event of the race, which was, as they go and as you'll see in most races, when the safety cars are going to come in, that first driver is going to back up the rest of the pack so they can get a good launch and make everybody else react to them. And that's what Max did.
And
And
he's a
Lance,
pro at it.
yeah, yeah, and Lance was just not paying attention.
No.
He slams right into the back of Daniel Ricciardo, uh, effectively destroying his race, and then proceeds to blame Daniel, saying, "What the f is this idiot doing?"
How do you rear end somebody and then
Everybody, yeah,
blame them?
everybody is reacting to the person in front of them, and
Yeah.
you watch Daniel's on board, and he's right behind whoever it was. I think it was
Oscar.
Piastri, yeah,
Oscar
and
Piastri, yeah.
he's inches from him, but still
Inches.
stopped. Yeah,
Inches. Like,
yeah,
it was, I was like,
yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't hit Oscar
Well, because it was on the hairpin turn, so Oscar was already turning,
into the
and Daniel
turn.
just
That's
kept going
right.
straight. Well, he
Yeah.
was thrown straight.
He was
Uh,
thrown. He was
uh,
thrown straight.
yeah, so that caused a little bit of drama on track and drama off the track.
Drama, a lot of drama off the track.
Yeah,
Within, I don't actually know who hit Yuki because Yuki got dinged as well.
did he get
Um,
dinged or did he run over debris?
I thought he got
Because I may have missed it
dinged a
because
little
I didn't even see Yuki go out. I saw his name out. I didn't see
I,
when he went out. I
I
was
think I think he got dinged by somebody.
he could have.
I don't
I'm
know.
just trusting you. I'm just because
It's just
I think I was in and out of
um,
sleep. So
but so we have both of the RBs out within a few corners. Well, Daniel didn't go out immediately. Yuki did have to go out
yeah,
immediately because he had a bad puncture, which resulted in another safety car, which was immediately right after that. And then we did end up seeing Daniel kind of limp home,
yeah,
with damage on his car as well. And then once the drivers have been, they do not finish, they kind of start to go and do their media. They're out of their cars. They're going to go talk to their
yeah,
teams. They're going to go do their media interviews. And as the race is continuing, you're starting to get these feed updates of the drama that's happening
yeah.
off track. Lance saying it's Daniel's fault. Daniel fuming in interviews.
Yeah,
Fuming.
Daniel, first thing he did, like the first thing they're gonna do is go check with the data. So he's checking his car, he's checking
Yeah.
the other, and he said he checked Lance's on board to see what's going on. And he
Mhm.
said Lance wasn't even looking forward; he was looking to the right. I guess looking toward the turn,
Yeah.
but not paying attention to the person in front of you when you're slowing down.
Yeah.
It's might as well give Daniel a what do you call it, 20-second time penalty like they
Yeah.
did Alonso,
Yeah.
um,
Honestly.
for the person behind him not looking around.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm still fuming about that, but
Oh,
but yeah, and then the reporter proceeds to tell Daniel that Lando's called him an idiot and said it was his fault.
Lance.
Which, sorry, Lance, I've done that more than once today. That Lance said it was his fault, and he was not happy.
No.
No, he was not happy.
No, not at all. There
And
were
you see him fuming, and then at the end of it, and he says, "Well, fuck that guy,"
fuck
which
that
you
guy.
never see. You never see in an interview. Like
Never.
not an interview.
Which
You see driver blow ups, but you never see. Yeah,
which I think we should like take a time out here for a second and talk about the dynamic of Daniel Ricciardo, Lance Stroll. There is a connection with them. So Daniel Ricciardo's best friend is Scotty James,
oh,
professional
that's right.
snowboarder
Wow.
for Red
Yes.
Bull.
Yes.
Scotty James is married to Lance Stroll's
Yes.
sister.
Yes. Yes.
So it's drama. This
Yeah.
is family drama,
Yeah.
extended family drama. But
Well, they've obviously hung out in settings
yeah,
outside of. Well, I'm sure, like they were at the wedding.
they were both
Um,
groomsmen.
yeah.
They were like, it's actually pretty funny.
So they just not
Um,
like each other, and
I guess,
because
but
if it was your friend, you probably wouldn't say it. You'd probably just go and give him shit afterwards.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, but I mean, he was pretty pissed. Like he's like,
oh
he's
yeah.
saying that I'm pissed now.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah. Like you see him you
just
could see the steam coming out
fuming.
of his ears. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Um,
fuming.
which you
I
don't
also
even see
thought,
just for him.
yeah, it just it was bad. It was a bad moment. But to kick them while they were down, Crofty said RB stands for really bad when they were both kicked out. So it was just like, come on, just
Yeah,
give them a break. But I
yeah,
mean, I think there was a comment from Daniel, and he said, when your race ends because of somebody else, it really hurts.
yeah.
Out of your control and something that isn't someone else's control. That
Mhm.
wasn't, it's not really an accident. You weren't paying
We're paying
attention.
attention. Yeah. No.
Like, I guess you can argue that's an accident, but like,
Well, it's a stupid accident. It's an
yeah,
accident that shouldn't happen. It's not like it's,
yeah,
you're getting squeezed in a corner. You've got nowhere to
yeah.
go,
No,
whatever.
not
And
at all.
this is his Daniel's second DNF because
Yes.
he had the one where he hit Albon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and he needs to finish a race, and he was in a good spot to finish.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not in the points, but he was in a good,
A higher finish. Yeah.
a higher finish, which he desperately needs that. So,
Yeah.
to be taken out and then blamed for it really sucks. So, I understand being pissed.
Yeah. But other than that, okay. Anyways, whatever.
We're back.
We're recording, and technical difficulties again because I don't know how to work power to my computer.
I think we should rename the podcast Fresh Set Technical Difficulties.
Yeah, yeah. Just
It's
technical difficulties.
it's
Yeah,
just technical difficulty.
just dumbass. So
Okay, Lance.
at least I can admit it's my own fault.
Fair. Fair.
How dare you, Sabrina? Just kick me off my own computer.
Just kick you out.
Yeah, so we'll get back into what I thought we were going to get into before all this happened. Lewis had a pretty good drive. I mean, to get back into the points from 18th.
Yes.
No easy feat, but he made it. He got a couple points, 2 points. So
I from starting 18th to
Yeah.
get all the way to ninth, complaining the entire way,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah.
but he
Just
did
saying, I
it.
can't catch these
So,
guys. This is too slow. This is not the right. These aren't the right tire. Whatever. Yeah, yeah. He didn't have one positive thing to say. Um,
no, he didn't.
which he should be saying thank you because I put us in this position in the first place.
Yeah.
But
Then there was the one incident, a couple incidents in the pit lane, but the Gasly pit stop where the tire kind of exploded back out onto the mechanic. Did you see
yes,
that?
no.
And
I'm all
yes,
I'm all over the
no.
place here. I just yeah. I thought
Uh
yeah. Whatever.
yeah, so the tire like kicked back on him and he fell and Gasly almost ran over him.
Oh,
Yeah. Not so nice, but he's okay, I think. I
we hope
haven't
so.
talked to him.
you
But
didn't get your report in your
but
email,
yeah, no,
your
I
morning
didn't.
debrief.
No, I did not. But Gasly did get on his radio after and ask if everybody was okay, and
Yeah,
they said yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, there was that.
How much? Didn't really see much of Oscar this weekend.
No,
I
didn't
mean, other than his good qualifying, but other than that, it wasn't
no.
really. noth-
For somebody that had a fantastic rookie season, we're not hearing much from him. And I don't know if this is the car. We see that there are some car issues with McLaren, so maybe they're just focusing on Lando at the moment, but not much from
Well,
Oscar this season
I
so far.
I think Lando's more pulling the focus. Last year was more of they're going to be fighting for each other or against each other, and this year
Yeah.
it just seems to be Lando's just taking over, and
Yeah.
doing a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean, he's not doing horribly. He's just not doing, we're not hearing his name as much, or he's not in the fights as much. Making moves when he can, but
yeah, yeah,
that's kind of all we're seeing from him right now.
yeah,
But we've got lots of races left.
yeah, for sure. Other than that, though, it's pretty basic race.
Yeah.
Not pretty uneventful. I mean, not really a great race. Uh, no, didn't need to wake up at 3 o'clock or stay
No.
awake. Really,
So, did you like the Chinese track? Do you like this track?
not really, to be honest with you.
I don't like it either.
It just seemed really boring.
It's
And I watched every session, and it just
yeah.
seemed like it was really boring.
Yeah.
There was the one turn, is it turn 2 or turn 3, where it's a long right hander, where you do see a lot of people trying to go around the
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
That's probably the best where you're gonna see the most action, I guess.
Yeah.
Other than that, that was and that's where you saw most people trying to make that pass, that outside turn, go make it work for them. Otherwise, it was yeah, I could have done without it.
No, that for me, I didn't. The slow speed corners, don't love them.
Yeah, there
It
was
like the track seems slow, and it's not a slow track, but it just everything seems too like bunched up for me.
yeah, yeah, and
Not a fan.
yeah, and maybe it was people just worried that where they can make um those passes, but there
Yeah.
wasn't really a lot of not necessarily risk taking, but just finding opportunities, or usually see people going for like a switchback. You didn't see that at all.
No.
Nothing. It was yeah, it
The
was
overtakes were on the straights. Like
yeah.
it was just kind of
This will probably be, and I could probably 5 races in. This is probably the worst race of the year for me. Well,
yeah.
because I know what's coming the rest of the year, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah. I
yeah,
yeah,
to to have
not
China
worth
and
the
not to
3 a.m.
have like France, yeah, I don't see it. I
Yeah.
don't see it being worth it.
No, not at 3 a.m.
No, 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 I won't
Not at
watch.
2
I
a.m.
won't be watching next year. I'll watch the replay. I'll
We'll
watch
wait
the
till the
highlights.
morning. Yeah.
It'll be the most exciting the race next year. Um,
Yeah.
one thing I want to ask you: how did you feel about Nico? Nico doing most of the commentary this weekend.
Loved it.
Yeah,
Nico Rosberg, we
yeah.
should clarify.
Nico Rosberg. Yes.
Nico
Yeah, yeah.
Rosberg.
Not Nico Hulkenberg from the cockpit.
he's,
No.
he's just commentating. I just passed
Yeah,
Hamilton, guys.
yeah. Did you guys see
Um,
that?
Loved Nico Rosberg.
Oh,
I
he was.
think because it's a driver that's not too distant from being on the track. You know,
Yeah,
Crofty, Brundle, like they haven't been on a track in a long time.
yeah,
We have a driver that his former teammate is still on track,
yeah,
Lewis Hamilton. So I really loved it. His commentary was coming from a driver's perspective. And I know
oh
the
yeah,
other ones are drivers, they've all done it, but I think he's the closest one to it of recent years. And he was just funny.
yeah. He was funny. He was
I thought he
really
was
insightful. Like
hilarious.
he knew what they were gonna do. He knew what their plan was
Yeah.
as other drivers, other teams, or what they should be
Yeah.
doing. He was making call outs, and then you'd see it happen.
It's
It
like 2
was
minutes later.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really great. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
really giving shit to the other drivers for making stupid moves or wondering why
Yeah.
they didn't make moves in certain areas when they
Yeah.
should have. And a lot of praise for Lewis Hamilton.
Yes.
A lot of praise. I mean, he gave him shots when he could, but a lot of praise for Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we talked about it before, and we definitely have to do an episode on like F1 rivalries,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about their rivalry.
Yeah.
But the respect is there. And even when he was taking shots, he was like, "Oh, come on, Lewis! Like you know
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
that."
Yeah.
Like it was from a place of like, "Come on, bud!
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what to do."
Yeah. You were
But
fighting
no,
me
I
harder in 2016, you would say.
yeah, exactly. Even when he would like make comments, he's like, "I got that penalty. Why didn't he get that
Yeah,
penalty?"
exactly. Yeah.
So that was good. I thought
The
I
person
thought
who
that
loved
was
it the
good.
most was Crofty. I've never heard him laughing on a
He's
broadcast. He was
he
dying
was
laughing.
laughing. He was having a good time. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he felt like he could take a break for a weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was good. I would have him back more.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I think
Yeah.
I think they should. I think they will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah,
Uh,
no, it was good.
other than that, I think that's it for the race, isn't it?
Yeah, Max
There's
won.
nothing. Yeah.
Lando got
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Off to
Checo
Miami.
got third.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Good on Lando. And you see that pic? There's always the memes where Lando's looking at the trophy and wondering how he could break it.
yeah, we could break it. Yeah. Yeah,
um,
the cool down room, awkward conversation, them watching the Lance
the Lance
Daniel
incident. Yeah.
accident,
Yeah.
Max
Just
trying not to laugh.
dying laughing. Yeah. Just because it's the stupidest movie he's ever seen. Yeah, there was that. There was also just off right at the end of the race. I don't know if you had seen it. They had actually put a not a podium place. You know, they put like the marker for the first, second, and third on
Yes.
track. They put a marker for Zhao to come in.
Yes, they
That was
did.
nice. Nice little feel good moment of the weekend.
Yeah. And he was crying for
He was
his
crying. Yeah,
what
yeah.
14th place. But I mean
14th place.
it's his home
It's
race.
so yeah. I know.
It's
And his team
his
screwed
first
him
time.
again with a over 5 second pit stop.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's not getting any help there.
No.
You think for one race they could just help him out, but
In
I-
his home race.
I guess consistency is key.
Consistently bad.
On the opposite
But-
side, though, you had the Red Bulls with 4 2-second penalties. Jeez, pit stops. Pit stops. They had a 2.1 and a 1.9 for Max, and 2.0s for Perez. I mean, they were
Yeah.
on their game. Not that they needed to, but
Yeah.
just to help them get ahead a little bit further.
And they're just going for the
fastest
records
pit stop,
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Perez needed
point.
it to try and catch Lando, but didn't happen. But that's you just see the difference in quality there. Yeah.
Yeah. From 2 seconds, 1.9 to 5.
Oh,
something
Yeah.
seconds. But yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just found it here because I'm going through all my
Ooh.
news so we can talk about. Fernando didn't get a grid penalty. He had a 10-second time penalty and a 3 penalty points. And 3
Oh, off
penalty
his
and
license.
sorry, Fernando Alonso gets a 10-second penalty and 3 points, yeah, for the Carlos Sainz
Off of
incident.
his, yeah,
Yeah,
off of his license, not the
yeah.
penalty,
But he
the
still gets a
races.
10-second
That's
time,
right.
still he didn't get a grid penalty. Yeah, my
Right.
mistake.
Well,
Um, you wanna do a little bit of news? A little bit of
let's
news
do
throughout the week
some
'cause there
news.
was quite a bit. Can I do the do 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 do? You don't know what I'm talking about? You ever seen, like, where the
No.
world's going around and you got, like, the little
Oh,
ticker thing?
yeah.
Okay. I guess it'll yeah, I'm gonna sound like an idiot to everybody, but that's fine. There were
Okay.
a couple things that were, coming up throughout the week. Actually, I think I had these saved for a couple weeks, but since we didn't do last week's, um, Max now has 50% of the wins since
Yeah.
the last Chinese GP in
Yep.
2019. He's at
Yes.
53 wins. The rest of the grid has 53 wins.
Yes. Well, he's got 54 now.
No, no, this was 53. If he had
Oh,
won this
okay.
one, it was
Oh,
53.
this
Yeah,
was,
this was 50%.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a 50%
Well,
winner. I mean,
since
that's a
2019.
ridiculous margin. Well, since 2019, yes, he's only been in F1 since 2016.
Considering considering he didn't win a championship until
2021.
2021.
Yeah.
That's
Well, and probably 40 of his wins have come in the last like 2.5 years.
last year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
So, wow.
yeah, that
Okay.
was it was pretty interesting. All the news that was coming around Alpine about the sale of the team. There was a lot of news this last week and a half that they were gonna be selling. They were looking to sell to a bunch of different people. Bruno Famin came out and said that there's absolutely not for sale. It kind of squashed those rumors. I mean, you're not for sale until you are.
Yeah,
So
I was
I
gonna
mean, the right
say.
the right offer comes around. They're taking investors, so I'm sure they're not opposed to selling the whole
To
thing and just
selling.
yeah. If the price is right, but I mean, if your stock couldn't be any lower or your price could be and not be any lower to
Well,
sell a team. It's right now.
and it's I saw both Ocon and Gasly after this race kinda made a post, and they were talking about how we're getting closer to the points, and we're a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, just because a bunch of people came out. That's why you guys are a little bit closer to the points.
Yeah.
But, I mean, take the money and run if you guys can.
Yeah. Um Speaking of selling a team, in my opinion, so there was I guess somebody had asked Lance what's going to happen after 2025. And he said only time will tell if he continues with Aston Martin in 2025. Where are you going? Where if where unless your dad is selling the team and you decide you don't want to drive anymore, you've got no other seat for 2020.
Ex
Nobody wants you.
Absolutely no
Nobody
other
wants you.
seat.
Like
There is nowhere that Lance is going.
even if he wouldn't, but even if he wanted to go to, say Williams, it's just a straight swap in driver talent. Lance and Logan.
Can you imagine Logan in a Aston Martin?
Oh no, no. He can
Logan
barely
finished the race.
He finished the
Wait,
race.
wait,
Yes, he did. He
wait.
did finish the race, and yeah. But
No
he can.
incidents.
But he can. Yeah, that's. Yeah. I didn't even pay attention.
A win is a win.
Mm, I guess. I guess if they don't have to replace the chassis,
A win
sweet.
is a win.
Um. So. Which why I love Albon's panda helmet, but maybe put some of that money back into the team
Yeah,
because you've cost them enough. Uh,
yeah. I thought
uh,
about that.
but yeah, so Lance not sure where he's gonna go. I guess it really depends, and if his dad wants to keep him around and keep paying him uh, after 2025. But with that, we had kind of with the Aston Martin talk. We had a lot of Carlos Sainz rumors.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of where he's going. There was a lot of reports that he's going to or he's set to drive for Mercedes in 2025. Helmet Marco saying that they are definitely trying to talk to him, but he's got more lucrative offers from Aston Martin and Mercedes. And then Christian Horner coming out and saying we have no idea what they've offered him.
Yeah, well, and I did see, I don't know who it was. I want to say it was Helmet, actually said they cannot
They
match
can't match it. Yeah, yeah.
the offer from Audi, which is only going to
Oh,
be
that's right. Yes.
2026.
Yeah.
So, unless there's a team willing to offer him a one year contract,
I think your best
uh,
bet there is going to be Mercedes. I mean, if they're not going to bring somebody like Kimi Antonelli in right away, which I mean, they
yeah.
can put Kimi in a Williams if Logan's not going to be there, right?
Yeah.
Get him a little more experience, put signs in for the interim, um,
Yeah, the 1
or
year.
unless Lance for some reason decides he doesn't want to come back to Aston Martin next year. Yeah,
Anything's possible.
but I feel like if for whatever reason Lance doesn't come back, I don't think that Aston Martin would sign Carlos Sainz if they know it's only going to be a 1 year.
Agree. Agree. I also don't see Red Bull doing that.
I don't see Carlos going back to Red Bull. I think he's entertaining offers to be nice, but I don't see him going there.
I also, what a slap in. I mean, we know Checo had a rough season last year, but he's keeping up.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is keeping up with his teammate. Doesn't mean he deserves a seat. And every seat's available,
No, but he's
but
definitely making a case for it.
definitely making a
Yeah.
case. And I don't think they would just switch him out for what they know is going to be 1 year.
No. No.
So,
Because then they're back in the same position, and right now your driver pool doesn't look great
yeah.
other than maybe Liam
No.
Lawson, but they're not going to, you know,
No.
he's probably going to RB.
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
Daniel, you
So,
don't want to put him in a Red Bull, do you? Not right
not right
now.
now.
No.
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 Not at all. Not at all.
No. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what comes out. I think you'll probably see it before the break. So what's that?
I
Beginning of
agree.
August, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I did see that Checo also did say that he plans, or he's heard everything's going to be wrapped up for him in the
Mhm.
next month.
Yeah.
So
Well, and if
lots to come.
it just sort of seems like, he's going to stay at Red Bull for another year helmet if Red Bull can't bring signs in.
Yeah, I would say that they're probably more inclined to extend for 1 year opposed to give a 1 year. Extend Checo for 1 year opposed to give Carlos a 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cuz then at the end, like you said, they're left without a driver.
Yeah.
Come 2026. So,
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll see. The other bit of news I had was there's a new points discussion. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting. So
That
now
could be as early as 2025.
so instead of the top 10 which we have now to get points. So right now first place gets 25, then 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 and 1. The proposed point system gives it up to the top 12. So the top 7 stay the same. So 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6. And then it goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 all the way down. So,
Yeah.
I mean, means Albon might get a couple of points.
It might mean Daniel will get a couple of points. He
That's true.
sometimes finishes
Yeah.
11th, 12th.
Yeah.
I'm torn. I like it because I think there are a lot of battles that do happen in the midfield that people deserve something for. But then it's like top 12 just sounds so weird.
It
Like,
does. I feel like it's more so to create drama and competitiveness in that midfield when it
absolutely.
comes to the constructors championship,
Yeah.
right? Because that could be, a couple extra points here and there, could be
Yeah.
millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. It'll definitely tighten up that midfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the constructors there, it'll definitely make it more dicey.
Yeah. I think they're going to do it. I mean, you usually don't see
Sounds
these
like it.
things unless it's actually going to come into
Yeah.
fruition here, but it'll be interesting.
It sounds like they're talking about it like next week or something like that. So,
Yeah, they're probably going to vote on it pretty quick and then see. I
yeah,
think it's going to pass.
I would
Um,
think so.
and that's it that I had for news. Other than the fact that, uh, oh, that's the other thing we didn't talk about is um, Fernando's new contract.
Yes.
Yes,
Which is the longest contract he has ever signed.
yeah, but not necessarily as a driver. So he's driving for them
No.
next year. He's driving for them to 2026.
Yes.
And then beyond that, it's up. I don't know if it's up to him or whatever, but it keeps him with the Aston Martin family for a long time. So whether that's
Yes.
in a management role, whether it's on the pit wall, whether it's in,
He's going to be
which,
a mechanic.
yeah, who knows?
He's going to be the
He's
mechanic.
gonna be the wheel gun guy, and he's gonna literally rip a driver out at some point and just hop in.
Front left
Uh,
wheel. That's him.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see after 2026 what happens to him. I mean, because he'll be
Yeah.
what 40,
45.
45 or yeah, something like that at the end of 2026. So it'd be interesting to see where he's going with them.
Yeah.
And what
And who owns them still?
that's what I mean. Yeah, and what happens when if for whatever reason Lawrence isn't there? Is there a buyout? Is there you know what I mean? Like, can we get
Oh,
rid of you?
jeez. Can you imagine? Interesting.
Yeah. And then they just changed the 2025 calendar that came out. One of the big things really
Yes.
is we start with Australia and then go to China next year, which I hope that's
Yeah.
not a sprint race, the second race of the season, but we'll see.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Everybody just getting used to the car and they're like, hey, sprint.
yeah.
Like,
So it just seems like it's even more of a fuel saving, environmental cost saving measure that they're
yeah.
going to be doing like that, as long as we don't have to send parts back to England.
Williams.
Yeah, yeah. They should just buy their own freighter.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's it.
Oh, I do have.
No, that's not it. We got
Yes, sorry. No, we have two things to do, and then I'll talk about the last thing. So we still have to do our fresh set of
our
the weekend. So if you would
fresh
like to
set
go,
of the weekend. I don't know. Lando on a podium, maybe.
okay, okay,
Second place.
and driver of the day.
And driver of the day. He didn't break anything.
Nope, no, pretty good weekend, yeah.
Yeah. That's my fresh set of the
Okay,
day.
okay. Mine is going to be Nico on the broadcast
The
with
commentary, yeah.
Crofty. Yeah, yeah. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. I enjoyed it all weekend. It was great.
It
Yeah,
was good.
that was
That's a
my
good
fresh
one.
side of the weekend. Yeah, for sure.
That's a good one.
Okay, so
Uh,
what's now your dirty air?
my dirty air would be kind of have two.
All right.
Carlos breaking his record of like 100% podiums for races this season.
Yeah.
And then Joe not being able to get any sort of points in his home race, which was very unlikely for it to happen anyways, but
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Oh, I got a lot here.
Oh god.
Okay. So actually, just talking about home race, there was a quote by Oscar. I don't know if you saw it. He says, "My great grandfather was Chinese, so this makes me my 1/16th home race." But you gotta love that comment. That was so good. I laughed so much when I saw
He
that.
really is the most random
Yeah. Just that
person.
dry sense of humor. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so my dirty air, I'll give you two as well. Um, One is the literal dirty air from the burnt grass this weekend. It was the most random, stupid thing that I can't even explain. I'm looking at the picture now, and it's nowhere near like there's no way this should have ever happened. Just spontaneously combust like this. I don't know what
Just
they're spraying it with. So there was that. Uh, and then the other one was, and I mentioned it to you. The Red Bull car looked a little funny to me during the
yeah.
races, and I couldn't figure out why until I saw it on Instagram. And they took out the logo on the back wing and everywhere else in the car that I had it, their Bybit logo, because cryptocurrency is illegal in China. And so you can't have sponsorships or anything like that on TV for it. Which is similar to what we had in like Australia, why Kick Sauber couldn't be Kick because it is online gambling and they don't allow
Yes.
online gambling.
Yeah.
Which to all of these things, and we're going to see it a couple more times this year, but
We're gonna see
um,
it a lot.
yeah, where they're removing sponsorships for it. Grow up. Like, who cares? Like, honestly, do you have to get your panties in a knot that much over a friggin' sign that's on a car? Is it really gonna make you're gonna see this Red Bull car going around and be like, holy shit, I need to buy
I'm gonna
cryptocurrency.
gamble.
I have
I
never
mean,
seen that.
they wouldn't be allowed to anyways.
I've looked it up. I'm like, what's Bybit? Oh, cryptocurrency. Great. I'm not buying it. If I'm not one that wants to buy it, I'm not going to buy it. If I'm not one
But
for
would
online gambling, I'm not going to online gamble. So what
but
does it
would
matter?
their, like, networks even allow them to go on the websites? Probably not.
No, no, they're
It would
blocked
be
anyways.
blocked
You can't.
anyways,
You
so
can't. You still have, and if you're that kind of person to bypass all these measures, you're probably already doing
you're
it.
already.
So I
They're
mean,
already doing it.
stop being stupid.
Stop it.
So that's my dirty air. I'm sick of it, and it's
Okay.
race 5. Um,
We've got a few more to go.
yeah. So that's it. Yeah, that's that.
Alright.
Yeah. But we're not done yet.
We're not
So
done.
no, I had one thing that we forgot to mention. Or I forgot to mention. Excuse me. I won't blame it on you. Last our last episode 2 weeks ago, or maybe three now. Um, the economic impact report came out for Las Vegas. Um, on the metrics of what had happened for Vegas during that weekend, leading up to it, all that stuff. And safe to say, Vegas isn't going anywhere. So for anybody that
Mm.
didn't like the fact that it's in Vegas, for all the residents that hate the F1 is there, buckle up and shut up because it's staying.
It's gonna be there for a long time.
Have you seen any of this?
No.
Oh, just just so it was a 40-page report um on the impact of it and whether it was success or whatever. So obviously they're going to measure whether it's success or failure. Um Total economic impact measured at 1.5 billion including visitor spending of 884 million dollars of an increase of what they had in the city. The race generated 77 million in tax revenue, more than any other event in Las Vegas history. The
Wow.
F1 spent $88 million on public infrastructure improvements, not including the land acquisition. So just stuff that they did in Vegas for Vegas.
Yeah.
Race visitors spent 3.6 times more than the typical Las Vegas traveler, staying 4.1 nights and spending over $4,100 on average. That's a lot.
Well, okay, well, the one thing that I will say with that is the 4.1 nights, whatever, probably won't happen every year because this year they had the inaugural.
I wouldn't be so sure though, because
You don't think so?
people that go to Vegas, they're going to be there for probably about 3 to 4 nights. Usually, typically when I hear people going,
True.
right? So they're still going to make a weekend out of it,
True.
even if they're only going to see a couple of events. They're going to spend their weekend
Yeah.
there. They're going to do all the touristy things, their
Yeah,
casinos,
they're
the
still gonna
clubs.
go from
Yeah.
Thursday. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Um,
Yeah, I guess.
Local workers, so actually creating jobs, earned $52 million in wages. The event
Just for F1.
the event created 7,300 jobs, including 2,200 for race-related construction projects and 5,100 for event operations. So 2,200 just for the construction, I guess throughout the 2 years or whatever it was, and
Yeah.
51 just for event operations. 5,100, sorry. The Las Vegas
I
airport
wanna see
was
this report next year.
oh, it'll dwindle a bit, I'm sure.
It's gonna dwindle.
Oh, sure. I
Yeah.
don't doubt it, especially when you come to like the infrastructure improvements
Yeah.
and workers and
Yeah.
wages and stuff. But when you come to tax revenue spending, that'll
Oh, yeah.
probably be
That's
pretty
it's gonna
close
go
to the
up.
same. Yeah,
Yeah.
the airport was the second busiest airport in the country of that day of the race with 2,200 operations. So that's just people coming in and out. Yeah. And
Jeez.
Clark County says it's the largest sporting event within the largest with the largest global audience in Las Vegas history. So yeah, so those are the main takeaways from that 40-page report. So it's not going anywhere.
No. They're gonna
No.
keep paying.
Yeah.
Do we know what their contract is right now with them?
I I don't it's obviously multi-year. I don't know if it's a 5 or a
Yeah.
10 year.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, I can't remember if it's 5 or 10. Well,
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I mean, I'd like to go. I'm not paying for it, but I'd like to go. I'd like to be invited.
I would like to be invited. I'd like to be invited to Miami.
Yes.
I like to be invited anywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Zandvoort.
I'd like to be
We'll go
invited to the F1 arcade just for fun.
in London.
Oh, they got one in Boston. It's open now.
Oh, true. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but that's basically it. That's
interesting.
our first episode back from a little bit of a hiatus. Where we kind of just fumbled over ourselves because we're still
I was like,
tired.
where are you
Because
going
we're
with
still,
this?
I don't
Where are
know.
you going with
My
this
brain's not
sentence?
working at a proper speed right now. It's not. I'm hopped up
Oh
on Red
God.
Bull, and I need to get to. I need
Sponsorship.
no. I'd love to, but it's not happening. Probably not yet. Um.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
So go ahead.
no, I was gonna say on that on that note.
Yeah, because I can't. I've got nothing left.
On that note, we will be back next week. Yeah,
Yep.
with
Yep.
not a race, but we have some more fun games, news of the week that we're gonna
Yes.
go over. But until then, you can find us on Instagram.
X, YouTube,
Spotify, YouTube,
Apple Podcasts.
Amazon Music.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. I never remember that. We are at Fresh Set Podcast on all of socials. So follow us, like, comment, whatever else. Subscribe, rate.
Yeah.
All
Thumbs up.
anything.
And
Just
send it. And send it everywhere.
Send it to your friends. Send it to your family.
Yep. And engage. Tell us how
Yeah.
much you don't want us to be away for another week, which will not happen again.
Yeah.
It won't happen again. No, it won't happen again.
We will try not.
We were caught off guard a little bit, wholly unprepared. We will prepare so it never happens again.
This is true.
There you go.
We will be prepared.
Yes.
We will be prepared and no more technical difficulties. We've said this before.
But
But
I won't make the same mistake twice, which I haven't. I haven't. So I'll just see how many more new mistakes I can make.
new mistakes that we can make. Anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week.
See ya. Grab a fresh set.
Bye.